G'day guys, Spockfist here. So this is an introduction to ACE3, and so this isn't a comprehensive video, but rather just a very simple instruction on its interface and basic functions. Okay, so the first thing you'll probably want to check out is your options and controls for ACE. Default, for the most part, is pretty good, but you might want to just double check it just in case there's something you really don't like or you think conflicts with any changes you've made previously. So you can have a look through this. So one of the things that I've personally done is that I've said display interaction menus as lists, and I've said that yes, I personally find lists more intuitive. Then to configure the actual controls of ACE, you go into controls and then configure add-on controls, and then you can have a look through your ACE functions, ACE buttons here. The two most important things to make sure are bound to good and accessible keys are the interact key, which I have as default left Windows key, and the self interaction key, which I have bound to control and left Windows key. I believe that's default. Okay, so I'll just go to first person, and I'll use the self interact to show you what that's like. If you hit control and left Windows key, that brings up any self interact that you can perform on yourself. So we'll have a look at equipment first. You can check your weapon temperature. You can see in the top right that my gun is completely cold. If I was to fire that for a few minutes, it would become hotter. That would affect its accuracy and the likelihood of whether it would jam or not. You can attach items to your person, such as a chem light. You can see I have a chem light on my right shoulder there. If this was nighttime, I'd be pretty lit up. So you can also do that with strobe lights and things like that, so that's pretty useful. To detach, just go back to the same option there. Team management, this is only relevant if you're in a fire team or section. I'll show you that later, but yeah, you can change the color of your person. Gestures, you can wave at people. You have the medical system, which I'll go into. But you can bandage your own body pretty easily. You have to inject morphine through your limbs, so you can't just put it in your torso or head. You can set yourself a triage card as well, so you can give a medic a little more information on your injury. Just hit escape to get out of that. I'm just going to detail interacting on other players. I've got myself a little test dummy AI here to test on. But basically, so you have your self-interact and then you have your interact with other people. So if you hit left Windows key, you can see we've got a bunch of different options here. So you have medical options, tap shoulder, and join group. And these are dependent on your proximity from that player, as well as the location of that option. So it works a little differently to AGM, but in terms of functionality, it's more or less the same. So if I interact on him, I can join their group, I can tap their shoulder. If I tap their shoulder, they'll get a little notification telling me that I've tapped their shoulder. So let's give the medical system a whirl. So we'll just
check your goddamn fire.
So I've just put this guy unconscious, and we'll see how that actually plays out in the medical system. So you can see that instead of diagnosing him to see his injury, we actually treat the injury directly. So what we can do is we can bandage. I'll bandage his left leg. He's currently bleeding. Red means heavy injuries, and yellow means light injuries. So we've just brought him down from a heavy injury to a light injury. So if I bandage him once more, he should go to a white state, which means that he stopped bleeding from there and he's good to go. So yeah, he's currently fine, but he's still unconscious. So he would need a medic to wake him up. Now, something you can do that may or may not be a regular RIFM process in future, but something that will probably be pretty helpful is to set him as triage card. So currently he's probably minor, or you know what, he'd probably be delayed because he's unconscious, but he's not bleeding, so he wouldn't need immediate attention as such. So we'll probably just leave it like that, hit escape to just leave it, and call for a medic. Okay, so here I come as a medic. I'm just going to check him out. Now, whoever was bandaging him should have told me verbally what was wrong, just to save time, but we can also look at the triage card. He's got delayed as his medical status. All we need to really do is find a limb. We can't just dose him up from wherever and just probably hit him with epinephrine. As we can see, he is now conscious. And if we diagnose him, we can see he's lost blood, but he is in pain, so that'll mean he has a fuzzy screen, and he probably won't be able to shoot very straight, so we can probably dose him up with morphine as well. Each individual soldier should have their own stick of morphine. And we can see that he's lost some blood, but he's not in any pain. If we want to completely replenish the amount of blood that he has, we would give him a blood transfusion, although this wouldn't be something that we would do for someone in this state. This would be something we would do for someone who's lost a lot of blood and is probably about to start passing in and out of consciousness randomly due to their lack of blood. Now we can see that he is alive, he hasn't lost any blood, and he is not in any pain, so he is all good to go back to the battle and get shot again. Okay, so let's say we have a man down, he's outside of cover. It's too risky to go out and treat him, but if we leave him out there, he will die. So what we'll want to do is probably throw a smoke grenade and drag him behind cover. So to do that, let's hit left shift and K for kilo. And this gives us a wind reading direction. We can see that it's heading pretty much directly south, and it's fairly light, but even still we want to make sure that our smoke grenade is going to be sort of properly deflected. This will also affect ballistics, so just be aware of that. So we want to cover him with a fair bit of smoke, and these grenades actually throw fairly far, so I hope this doesn't go too far. There we go, it's good. So I'll wait for that to start gathering. Alright, so he's covered by a good thick layer of smoke. Let's try and drag him out. It's pretty risky, so we want to do this as quickly as possible. So we're just going to drag him. Dragging is the quickest, carrying is the slowest, but you can head the quickest once you've got him on your back. So we've got him behind cover. We use just the standard scroll menu to drop him. Now we can do a few things such as open his inventory and take his stuff if we want to grab his radio or something like that. Alright, so we can load him into a vehicle if we have a vehicle around, but we don't, so let's carry him further behind cover. As you can see, this is quite a slow animation, making you quite vulnerable, so you won't want to be doing this out in the open. But once you've got him on your back, you can move quite quickly. So, as you can see, I'm now carrying him behind cover. Just going to look at explosives for now. So if I open up the kit bag that I have, you can see I have some explosives available to me. I've got some bounding mines, claymores, slam mines, and a demolition block. So let's go with something simple. Let's just place a claymore. Alright, so we place it. Now, if you place a mine, you want to be careful, but they shouldn't be active immediately after you've placed it. So you can pick it up and move it around, or you can select trigger. So if we have if we have the M57 firing device equipped, we can do that. That's set it to explosive code 2. Now a claymore is directional, so I should be alright back here. So we'll use the explosive system again to detonate it. The M57 firing device, explosive code 2. And there we go. Now one of the cooler features of ACE3 is the ability to place explosives on vehicles properly. So we can use this for pretty hilarious effect. We can be suicide bombers, or we can just safely use it to demolish vehicles. So to do that, it's pretty easy. just go into your explosives options again, find a suitable explosive. We'll use the demolition block. Alright, and so all we need to do is go up to a vehicle and place it sort of inside the frame of the vehicle somewhere, and that should place as like so. Now it's not armed at the moment, so all we've got to do is just arm it. We can either pick it up again or select a trigger. We can either set it to timer or set it to a firing device, so we'll do that. It's explosive code 3. Alright, now that explosive is now tied to this vehicle. So, as you can see, I'm driving around and the bomb is still attached. So I can do some pretty horrible things, such as
Fire!
So that concludes the ACE3 introduction. Thank you for watching.